Who made that mess?
Donald Trump and his allies are pushing policies that restrict what students can learn, defunding public schools, and banning discussions on history, race, and gender. But why? And what does this mean for the future of education? Trump's war on education isn't just about policies, it's about the right of every child to learn and grow in an environment that fosters curiosity, knowledge, and the truth. If we allow education to be censored, we risk losing the very foundation of democracy itself. Trump has called for banning discussions on systematic racism, gender identity, and even certain aspects of American history. Under his influence, states like Florida and Texas have restricted what teachers can say in classrooms. Attacks on critical race theory. Issued an executive order September 2020 banning federal diversity training that included CRT. Claimed CRT was diverse and promoted anti-American propaganda. Encouraged states to defund schools that included CRT in curriculum.
The 1976 Commission was established in 2020 to promote patriotic education. They released a report downplaying slavery and systematic racism. This criticized progressive interpretations on American history. But later, this was disbanded by President Biden on his first day in office. But as Trump becoming president, it was reinstated to promote a more patriotic view of American history, which is basically trying to make it look like everything is just fine and dandy and there was no real racism or any type of bias towards any group or culture. Executive order bans teaching anti-American materials, including critical race theory and gender ideology in K-12 schools. We need this because it allows us to understand who we are as a culture. You know, it helps us understand what our ancestors and people have gone through. And the consequences of this is schools their risk is losing federal funding if they violate the order. So, for example, Ms. T's class, if they fully enact this historical ban, then Ms. T will lose her funding if she violates the order. The Department of Education cuts are aimed at downsizing the department, impacting civil rights, and disadvantaged student support. The lawsuits were led by 20 Democrat states that sued to block the changes, arguing they harm education and civil rights.
Combating Trump's ban. First, we can advocate for policy protections by contacting lawmakers. We can urge local, state, and federal representatives to oppose legislation restriction, history education, and support bills that promote inclusive curriculums, as well as support education-friendly candidates like voting leaders who campaign accurate, diverse, and inclusive education. Second way we can combat Trump's ban is by mobilizing communities. We can do this by engaging with school boards, attending meetings, voicing our concerns, and push for curriculums that reflect all histories. On top of that, we can join advocate groups, organizations like the ACLU, NCAAP, and Zen Education Project by fighting against curriculum's censorships. Third, we can defend our teachers' rights. Many educators want to teach honest history but face political pressure. We can stand with teachers who want to resist this rather racist censorship. Fourth, we can raise public awareness. We can use social media to do this. Share info, raise awareness, and counter misinformation about history education, as well as organize community discussions, host events, forums, and book clubs to highlight the importance of history.